Okay guys, we are done. Thank you Chris so much.
Hi, I'm Chris. I've been working with special effects for about 22 years now.
Kind of planning out where I want the patterns to go with some.
Hey everybody, it's October 18th. It's almost Halloween, but today we're getting ready to go to an early Halloween party. This party is famous in Los Angeles. It's very fancy and you are required to wear a costume to get in. Each year has a different theme, and this year's theme is high school. So the idea is that you go as a character or a caricature of something from your high school past, maybe something that you wanted to be but weren't, or a Halloween-y twist on a high school stereotype. So we're starting our costume preparation process. We're getting ready and we're excited to show you all the details.
Okay, let's start with my costume. I'll show you in the end. It was the final look, but Chris is here. He's gonna help me. And Chris, tell us about you. Chris actually very famous makeup artist. Can I call makeup artist?
Sure, makeup artist, yeah.
Yeah, from Universal Studio. And tell them about your job, what you do.
Well, so I started working at Universal in 2005 with the Halloween Horror Nights. I was doing prosthetic makeup applications. And then I moved to Hollywood, where I moved over to Tech Services Department. And I maintain the animatronics, so the dinosaurs, dragons, stuff like that, painting, silicone repair, fiberglass repair.
Yeah, if you guys go to Universal Studio and you go to Jurassic Park or the famous shark existing there and those dinosaurs, you can see everything made by him and painted and created and everything, so you know who is he. So he's gonna help me today with this amazing mask. He painted actually everything. It was raw. I'll show you before and after. And yeah, now I need to go and get ready. He told me I need to shave my beard. Can glue this face on my face and trim my body hair. Okay.
Hi, I'm Chris. I've been working with special effects for about 22 years now. I currently work at Universal Studios. I've been with them since 2005. I started with Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando. Moved over here to Hollywood in 2014. Currently with the Tech Services Department. I do silicone repairs, fiberglass repairs, molding and casting, things like that.
The first obstacle we had to overcome with this prosthetic is, I think it was designed to be used with a cowl. So we needed to remove about 1 inch to 1.5 inches off the top of the prosthetic. The issue is whenever you cut it, it will leave a really bad blending edge. It needs to be fixed before we can apply it. So I used a soldering iron on the back side of the prosthetic to flatten out the blending edge so that we can get a nicer blend off at the top of the forehead. I believe this prosthetic is a orc or a demon, and the first thing that came to mind was the orcs from the movie Bright. I really liked the way that the skin texture looked on that. It reminded me a lot of like a hairless chimp or some of the texture you'd see on like a hippo. So I looked at some of those for reference. Also, some characters from the movie Guyver that I really liked. Gremlins 2, something that I drew inspiration from, and actually even Darth Maul's patterns. So now that I had some inspiration, when I went and start the painting on this, first thing you have to do is put down a layer of Prosthetic, basically to seal the foam. Also, it allows something for the acrylic paint to stick to once you start putting it down. First thing I usually do is put down a couple quick passes with an airbrush to kind of fill in some shading, kind of get me a good skin tone to kind of start with. I'll even start kind of planning out where I want the patterns to go with some quick airbrush lines. I'll go in later with a brush and paint those in by hand. But this is just kind of to give me a place to start. You can see here I'm starting to fill it in with the art brush here. So I'll go in and lay the dark patterns over top of the original airbrush skin tone that I had done. You can see some detail work here. You can see here it's starting to come together. This pass here is a modeling technique that I like to do that basically gives you kind of the impression that there's a layer of skin over top of these patterns. So it doesn't really look like the pattern's sitting on top of the foam. It looks like it's actually underneath maybe another layer of skin or kind of like a dry surface or something on top of these markings, so they don't really look as painted on. Here you can see I'm starting to add some of the veining, the detailing. You see here I'm finishing up the ears, and now it's ready to be applied.
What you are doing there?
So this is what they call PAX paint. It's basically a mixture of Prosthetic, which is an adhesive, and just acrylic paint. And basically, they usually use that, like say in movies or like on the stage, to make sure that the paint doesn't rub off. It also sticks to foam a lot better than if you just use acrylic paint, because it'll crack, flake, peel, stuff like that.
Okay, now we are starting with the body, right?
Yeah.
The body part.
Open your mind. The world has been left broken. Open your mind. The world has been left broken.
Look around you.
Open your mind. world has been rift broken. Open your mind. The world has been.
Okay guys, we are done. Thank you Chris so much. I'm gonna leave Chris Instagram, my captures. You can check out his works and you can talk with him if you need any makeup or anything. So we are ready for the party. This is the final look. It took about 5-6 hours, right? So he did an amazing job.
Had to get close up there.
Yeah, it's scary, huh?
Yeah. Nice work, man. Amazing. You're gonna be the scariest guy there.
Yeah, and we see you from the party actually. Thank you again. Thank you so much.
That's great. I love that.